Hello, everyone, and welcome along to this live webinar. And today we have a special topic, bridging finance. And I'm joined by our team, Arye, Claire, and Lyndon. Hello, guys. How are you? So if you watch this webinar on our YouTube channel, feel free to subscribe. And then basically you can get much more relevant content about the platform and about our services. And let me share the screen to show you the topics and the agenda for this webinar for today. Can you see the screen? Yeah, all right. Okay, so we start in general. What is bridging finance and when basically you should use it? Then how bridging finance can help you invest better in property. But we also will talk about the risks in taking bridging finance because it's a great tool, but you need to know how to use it and to use it in a smart way and understand the risk associated with this tool. How to apply for bridging finance with Lendlord. So we'll show you how you can start your own application using the Lendlord platform. Then we will speak about our underwriting process. And again, if you have questions, you can put them on the chat, and we will have a session for questions and answers in the end. Then we will show you how you can review and track your online application using Lendlord. We speak about some case studies and things that we do and we can do as a bridging lender. And of course, we'll have the question and answers. And we also have a special promotion for today. Basically, it's a benefit to our premium plan, which I will show you when we come to the end. So let's start. So the first topic, what is bridging finance and when to use it? Arya, I will let you perhaps start with brief overview about bridging finance and basically when it's time to use it. Arya, you are on mute, Arya. Arya? No? I think now it's okay. Try to speak. No, we can't hear you. Perhaps try to log in and log out. So I can start and Lyndon.
Okay, hopefully that works. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now it's good. Okay.
Okay.
Go for it.
So there are a few occasions when you would use bridging finance. I'd say the main point about bridging is speed, and when you can't get conventional lending. And there are a few occasions when that happens. The first one is the classic one is an auction purchase. Auction purchases typically give you just 28 days to complete. That's not a flexible date. It's 28 days. You have to complete within that period or you'll incur penalties. And bridging finance can get you to the end of the purchase, should be very smoothly. When you're purchasing for under market price, for whatever reason, there can be a whole variety of reasons. That's another reason you may take it because it's under market value and traditional lenders don't typically like that. Another classic occasion for bridging finance is when you are purchasing to refurb or the property is not habitable on the day of completion. For buy-to-let mortgages, you typically need to have a property that's habitable. And if, for example, it hasn't got running water or a working kitchen, you won't be able to get a mortgage. So you would take bridging finance because bridging finance will bridge you from a purchase to the time you get the works done and you're then in a position to either sell the property, flip, or you would refinance the property onto a standard buy-to-let. And bridging is typically a short-term transaction where hopefully you can get the work done in 6 to 12 months. Another one which you can see on the list on the screen is a lease extension. If you're purchasing property that has a short-term lease, then most lenders will not allow finance on a short-term lease, and we, with bridging finance, will allow it. And during that time, you can extend the lease and then refinance onto conventional finance through a buy-to-let mortgage. And that, in a nutshell, is bridging. Bridging is to fund fundamentally when you cannot get a normal conventional buy-to-let mortgage.
Perfect. Thanks, Arya. So just to summarize, it's a short-term solution basically to bridge between a purchase to either refinance or a sale. Lino or Claire, if you want to add anything to that quickly, feel free. Or we can. All right. Okay, so we can go to the next topic. So now basically we will, can you see let me share again. All right. So how to apply for bridging finance using the Lendlord software. So if I believe that this webinar already have a Lendlord account. And if not, we will put the links to sign up and create your account later in this webinar on the chat. So briefly about Lendlord, can you see, by the way, just Claire, Arya, Lino, do you see the screen? Yeah, all right, the platform, yeah?
Yeah.
Good. So Lendlord, basically, we have three main parts to the platform: invest, manage, and finance. On the invest section of the platform, you can find the property sourcing tabs. And here, basically, we are uploading new properties that are now up for sale from estate agents all around the UK, from auction houses, online auction houses. You can see auction lots here, and you can basically get more information about the property, some pictures, the auction date. And the nice thing, you can see the initial analysis for the deal using our deal analyzer or flip analyzer. You can see also what finance you can get in order to purchase this property. You can add this to your watch list. Watch list is part of our premium plan, which is £99 per year, £12 per month, which we will provide the benefit of 40% discount in this webinar. Just stay tuned to the end and we will put the links. And you can also click on place bid, and this will take you to the auction house website where you can get more information about this property. And you can also start the process to bid on this property. Another tab is property lists, where you can find properties by a specific category. The repossessed properties, it's a tab just for properties under repossession. And sourcing alerts, again, part of our premium plan. It's a great way to get notified. So basically, you can create a search criteria. Basically, just need to put an address and radius to this address, price from, price to, select the property types, number of bedrooms. And based on that, every day, the platform will find new properties that match your criteria, and you will get notification to your email or to your mobile if you use our mobile app. And also you can get basically be notified on price increase on properties on your watch list, price decrease, and also before auction dates. So it's very useful tool, also part of our premium plan. The deal analyzer is a great way to analyze any property deal. We just need to put the purchase price and the expected monthly rent, and the platform will calculate for you the first year metrics and the long-term metrics. And starting this point, you just need to tweak the data and review your metrics. You can also run what-if scenarios and to see how basically your assumptions impact the long term. And again, on our YouTube channel, you can find many videos also about the deal analyzer and other features of the platform. And this webinar will focus only on bridging. But briefly, on manage side, you can manage your existing properties on the My Portfolio page. You can upload documents, and this is very relevant also for bridging and also for mortgages. So in this section, for each property, you can store relevant documents. And then also for each owner, you can store your passport copy, utility bill, and other important files and documents that you should share with a mortgage broker or a bridging lender. So it's available here for you, and also on the company level. And then if you use the packages feature, you can share documents with others in a few clicks. And again, we have a dedicated video on this topic as well on our YouTube channel. The wealth tracker is a new feature which will help you understand your current wealth status in terms of assets and liabilities. You can also manage your tenants and tenancies, and you can invite your tenants to their own dashboard. You can track your rent collection using Lendlord. You can receive maintenance reports from your tenants. Sorry, I'm doing it very briefly, but just to give you an idea about the entire platform. And then in the cash flow section, you can manage your income and expenses over time. The nice thing in Lendlord that you can link your bank account, so you can allocate automatically all the transactions from several basically bank accounts, and this is also part of our premium plan. And you can get reports, P&L report, expenses breakdown report, a tax report, and more. And then the finance tab, and basically this is the topic of our webinar. So if you want to apply for bridging finance, you have several places in the platform. You can go to the finance tab from the menu, click bridging finance, and start a new inquiry. It can also be from the deal analyzer. If you go invest, deal analyzer, rental, for instance, you can just click on finance this deal button, then click bridge deal, and you will see indicative terms for bridging finance to finance this specific deal that you are now analyzing. And also from the sourcing tab, you can see for each property indicative terms, very indicative on what you can get in terms of bridging, and then you can click proceed to start the process. So the process basically should take not more than 3 minutes. So you have the questions from the left side, and here you can see indicative rate for the initial term. And then you start with selecting the purpose of this loan. As you can see, we can support auction purchases. We can also support development and heavy refurbishment, but it really depends on the property and the amount of work required on the property. Light refurb is something that we usually do. Business funding or capital raising. So if you already own an existing property without a mortgage, you can take bridging finance on it, basically a short-term loan, and the security will be the existing property that you currently own. And then the exit can be either selling this specific property, or let's say that you refinance a different property and you have cash to repay this loan. So there are many ways to do it. We can also help with refinancing existing bridging loans. Then yeah, if it's like second or first charge, we typically don't do second charge, but recently we have the option to do second charge. It really depends on the case, so you can apply for that as well. Then what is the estimated purchase price? So let's say for this example, 200K. And basically here we will ask you how much do you wish to borrow? Just to make sure, because it happened to me before, you see now the questionnaire of bridging, yes? On the screen. All right, good. Perfect. Okay, so basically here, in terms of loan to value, we can go up to 75% loan to value. But the rule is basically that we will want to be at 75% by the end of the term. Okay, so if it's a short-term bridge, so 6 months or 9 months, then basically we can release more on day one. If it's 12 months or even more, like there are some cases that we can do more than 12 months, then we might ask you to service the loan if you want to get 75% on day one. So basically to perform monthly payments, and then you can get 75% on day one. So it really depends, but it's feasible. Then here basically we'll ask you to put your contact details, just that we will have the ability to contact you to help you proceed with the process. If the property that is being used as a security is your residential address, so basically the place where you live, it's a problem for us because we are non-regulated bridging lender, so we can do only buy-to-let properties. So because of that, this option is not available. We can do only buy-to-let properties. How do you intend to repay the bridging finance? So this is a very, very important question for us, for the underwriting team. And this is basically your exit strategy. Arya, you want to speak about the exit strategy briefly? What are basically the options to exit bridging and how we as a lender will look at the exit strategy from the underwriting perspective?
No problem. Happy to answer this one. With regards to exit strategy, as Aviram said, this is really key to the proposal. You need to think from our point of view. We want to know that after the 6, 9, or 12 months, we are going to be repaid. We can only know that by knowing that there is a real strategy in place. So typically it will be, say it's a refurb, then you would have a buy-to-let remortgage to repay the bridging finance. But to succeed with the buy-to-let, what's very relevant is what rental income can you achieve on the property. So if the rental income you can achieve on the property is insufficient to support the mortgage that you want to take, then arguably the exit strategy, if that is the exit strategy, is not going to work. That is something we will look at as underwriters. We want to see that the exit strategy works. The easiest option is obviously sale of property, because sale of property, if we're funding up to 75% and you're going for a sale of property, then we know that the sale of property is an easy option if a refinance can't work. It may be that you have source of funds coming from somewhere else. As long as we understand from the outset what that strategy is and it's feasible, we will be happy to consider the application.
So great, thanks, Ari, for your answer. I will add to that, as a digital lender, you have this basically text box to describe your plans for like how you are going to exit. And as much, you put more details, then we have more information, so you basically can get your terms faster. So use this basically text box to put details on your plans for this purchase and how you're going to exit.
Can I just add, Aviram, the more information that's put in this box, the less questions we will ask, because the bigger picture that we have is just great for us to understand how the whole deal is going to work out.
Yeah, exactly. Then there are several questions about your personal situation. It's approximate annual income. We don't need at this stage the exact number, just to understand. We don't have a minimum income. Basically, on bridging, it's more about the property, the loan to value. Of course, we will want a good profile, but we can also lend on bad credit and things like that. It really depends on the case. Then, of course, the address, which is very important. But if you don't have an address yet, you can click on don't know yet. That's fine. And then, we can just underwrite based on your profile. Once you get the property that you are going to buy, then we will look at the property. how many properties do you own? So this is something. So if you manage your portfolio on Lendlord, we'll take it from there. Basically, the platform will basically just take the number. No one can access your information unless you will give us your written consent. But just for generating the terms, the platform, the engine will know this information. This is important in terms of experience. Having said that, we will lend also for first-time landlords. Again, depends on the case, it depends on the property, but it's feasible. Then you will get some questions about your credit history. And again, we can still lend, but of course, this might impact the rate, the interest rate, because the risk is higher. So you can see the rate changes based on your answers. Then what stage are you at? So are you just researching, you started to view properties, you made an offer, or you've had an offer accepted? The type of the property, and basically the speed. So when basically you need to get the finance. And I can say that in bridging finance, it can be very fast, but it also depends on you, the borrower, and your solicitors. So the legal process is also important to get it into speed. But Claire, you can speak about perhaps use cases, but in terms of the process, we did see deals that can close in even before less than 10 days and things like that. So the process can be fast. Yeah.
Again, as what you just said, it all depends on how quickly the borrower solicitor acts. Obviously, we ask when you want to complete. If for any reason I see that you need to complete in, let's say, a week's time and your solicitor's acting slow, then I will chase your solicitor to get the ball rolling. We stay on top of all our cases, so it can happen very quickly, but it depends on the borrower's solicitor.
All right. Arya, if you answer questions on the chat, make sure you answer to everyone, unless it's a private question for some panelists. I see there are some questions. So Arya and Claire and Lyndon, perhaps you can answer on the chat, but I will also read the question in the question and answer session so we can answer out loud. All right. How much do you plan to spend on refurbishment? So this is also very important. So if the property requires some work, we want to understand how much in terms of cost you are going to spend. And this is also something that can affect your rate because it's basically impact the risk. And then what is going to be the value of the property once you complete all the works on the property, and then basically we call it the GDV. And basically this is it. So at this stage, if you are new to Lendlord, we will ask you to create an account. But if you already have an account, you just need to click proceed, and you will get the bridging application on Lendlord, and there basically we'll ask you for additional information. So the first information is about the applicants, if it's individual or company. And again, because I already manage my account on Lendlord, you can see that I already have those details. So it's very quick. And then we'll ask you some information about the property. We'll use some defaults, and we will tell you which fields are missing at any stage. Then you can basically review the information. If you are happy, click proceed. And you can review your indicative terms. So there's several products. Let's speak about the products. So here basically you can see the dynamic products. So basically you can, the the rates are quite low because of the LTV. I should have perhaps increased it. Basically, you can see that the rate is increasing if the term of the loan is increasing. So basically, 3 months will be 0.63, 6 months 0.69. So basically, if you can repay the loan before 6 months, you will be at 0.69. If you can pay before 9 months, you will be at 7.5. But if you go to the 12 months, you will be at 0.83 at this stage. Our rates can be higher, depends on the loan to value, depends on the amount of work required. So I think that we are quite competitive, but we are not, I think, the cheapest lender. But the service that you will get, I think, because you will get the personal service, flexible underwriting. So I think this is basically something that, and also digital process. I think it's a great benefit. So now I think, Claire, let's speak what happens now, basically in terms of the process, the underwriting process, how fast the customer can get heads of terms and commitment from us to proceed.
So obviously now you can see the indicative terms. The next step will be to upload some required documents. At this stage, one of the team members on the bridging team will be able to see that an application is being created. So someone will contact you. You can either email the documents to one of the team members, or you can upload them directly to the portal. It's very, very easy. As you can see here, these are the documents that need to be provided. Once we have the application with the required documents, we can get back to you with the terms depending on the time of day. Let's say you make the application, in the morning, within an hour or two, you will have some terms. But typically within 24 hours, no matter what, you will have the heads of terms, obviously subject to check.
Yes, it can be very, very fast. And Claire, what happens after the customer signs the heads of terms?
So once the head of terms are signed, we will then ask for your solicitor's contact details and the contact for the person who's got the keys, so we can book in the valuations. So we'll instruct the solicitors and in parallel the surveyors, so we can start the legal process and in parallel carry out the valuation.
Yeah. And once the valuation is ready, then we get the valuation report. Basically, it's just a matter of the legal process to be completed. And again, it can be a matter of days. It really depends on the legal team. We are chasing our solicitors. Usually, they're very efficient. And we try to help you also chase your solicitors, but you should be also on top of it. And then once all the legal requirements are satisfied, then basically we can release the funds. Yeah, so basically this is the process, and also this is how you can track and review your bridging application. At this stage, I think, Arya, perhaps we can, say a few words about the underwriting process, basically on what we look, what is important for us, on what basically the boards needs to understand or to provide, a bit about the underwriting process.
Yeah, happy to answer that. The underwriting process really is, as Claire said, it can be extremely quick as long as we have all the information. The kind of things we're looking for we just need the standard information, ID, residency, so we understand who we're lending money to. The other really important thing, and I can't stress this enough, is we need to see the source of funds. We want to see where the funds are coming from towards your purchase. So if you're purchasing a property for 100,000 and you want to borrow 50,000 and you want to put in, say, £20,000 refurbishment, we want to see that you have access to £70,000. Once we've got that, it makes an exit strategy, which we've spoken about already. It actually makes the process very, very easy, because then all you've got left is the legal process. You've satisfied the financials. There is a question that's been asked on the chat in relation to pay slips, in relation to what the minimum income. We don't have minimum income. We're not too interested in payslips unless somebody is servicing the loan on a monthly basis, which is an option. We will allow for it to be serviced, but in that case, we just want to know where the affordability side of things. So if you have a company that has several buy-to-lets and you have a fair amount of rental income, that's fine. We will see that on your portfolio. And having a portfolio is another key thing for underwriting because it helps us assess what you've got in the background, what your experience is. If you're doing refurbishment, to understand, you can put a note on the system. I've done a refurbishment once, twice, 3 times, and give us an address, give us a very brief details. It helps us as underwriters to actually just understand the deal. Everything with underwriting is about comfort. Do we feel comfortable with a deal? If we feel comfortable with the deal, we want to lend. That's what we do. That's the business. So yeah, try us because we really are here to lend.
All right. Thanks, Arya. So now before we go to the question and answers session, I see that there are many questions. If you want also to ask your questions out loud, just raise your hand and I will give you the permission to speak. And now for the benefit for this webinar attendees, so we will give you now a coupon for our premium plan, which is quite enhanced for 40% off for the entire year. So basically, just if you already have a Lendlord account, go to the right top menu, click on the settings page, and then first on the plan detail, you can see all the features that you get on our premium plan. Basically, you can link unlimited bank accounts. You can run postcode information. So this is very important, especially before you invest in a new property. So you can go to the postcode information page, pick an address, and then explore the area of this address, basically the postcode. So it takes a few seconds, but then you will get very useful information. So basically, this is limited to 3 searches on the basic plan. But if you want to get unlimited searches, you can upgrade to our premium plan. You can see that you can see the capital growth in this postcode in the last 5 years. You can see a rental stats based on the property type. And you can see average asking prices in this area and some comparables. So you can see recent sales of properties in this postcode, some data about council tax, about statistics about crime in this area, and some demographic data about elections, commute methods, age distribution, and schools. So very useful. You can also run on the premium plan property value estimation, unlimited rental estimation for each property, unlimited. You can create a works plan, schedule of works, again, using our premium plan. On the managed side, you can link bank accounts, as I mentioned, with open banking, and you can manage more than 5 documents which you have in the basic plan. And this is basically in £99 per year. But for this webinar, so just write this, I will write the coupon here on the chat. It should be available by tomorrow. So just use it. So it's bridging webinar, and I will show you how you can apply this coupon. So click upgrade from the settings, then click add coupon, click bridging webinar, click apply, and you can see that you have now 40% off. Click upgrade now, choose the annual plan, and then you need to put your credit card, and then you get it for 12 months and £59. So make sure you do it before it expires. All right. So now let's go to the questions and answers.
Aviram, do you want me to answer some of these questions? I can run through them pretty quickly.
Yeah, but perhaps let's ask Arya, like let's start with Tosin that wants to ask the question. So Tosin, I will allow you to talk now. 1 second. Tosin, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear
All
me?
right. Yeah. Feel free to ask your question.
Yes. Hi everyone. Good evening. I've got a couple of questions, so I've put them together, so I'll just run through them. First one will be, does Lendlord lend against market value? That's the first question. Second question is there any scenario where the interest is retained and like on a over 75% loan to value or 75% loan to value where the interest is not serviced and it's just, retained and we just get the borrower just get the net loan. And the third question will be, is there a scenario where, the head of terms can possibly change after uploading documents for underwriting? Those are my three questions, please.
All right. So for the first question about market value, so typically we will lend on the lower between the purchase price and the market value. Having said that, there are some exceptions. Okay, so if the valuer will come back with a valuation report that states that the property actually was purchased under market value, we can take a look and take a view. As I said, we are flexible in terms of the underwriting. We just don't just tick boxes. Basically,
Okay.
if we see that this is basically the reality, then yes, we can definitely be open to that. But usually you will find that the valuer will value the property at the purchase price. Also, I think that we saw like several cases that it was higher. So yeah, it's possible. Your second question, I will let. Can you just remind us a question? Or I think Arya, perhaps you can take it if you. But Tosin, perhaps quickly, if you can remind the second one.
Yeah, so the second one was, is there a scenario where the interest is not serviced on?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, the answer is, sorry, the vast majority of loans that we do are capitalized interest. So you receive, you don't have to pay anything and you just pay at the end. So we will lend 75% of the value, including the accrued interest at the end of 12 months. So you effectively, the net amount is less than 75% because we capitalize the interest. So if you take a 6-month loan, a 6-month loan will see you get a larger net amount than a 12-month because 12 months obviously accrues more interest. Does that make sense?
I think so.
All right. And your third question was about the terms. So
yes.
I
They can
remember.
change.
I remember. So I think most cases, I think, Claire, correct me if I'm wrong, I think 80 or 90%, the indicative terms should remain the same. So or it will be with minor adjustments. There are cases that we will also reduce the rates, because the platform, it's an engine. So basically, it can come up with higher rates that, when we basically look at the case, when we speak with you as a borrower, we understand something that the engine didn't understand, and then we can basically reduce the rates or do something that basically fits your needs. So it's flexible. So in this case, yes, the indicative terms might change, but also for the best. But then when we generate the heads of terms, and here I would say even 99%, 95%, this is what you will get. So of course, after the valuation, like when we get the valuation report, it can get down value, and then basically then we will need to change the loan amount to meet our LTV policy, the loan to value. But I think it's not something that happens a lot. It's actually, I think I don't remember, perhaps, there's several cases that it happened, but it might happen. So those are the cases that terms can change.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tosin. All right. So yeah. So if someone has want to ask his question out loud, just raise your hand. But Ari, let's go over the questions from the chat. Yeah, I see Sarah and and all about many questions. So wait, we'll take 2 or 3 questions from the chat, and then I will let you speak. I want to pick some.
Yep, I'm happy to pick some. 2 seconds, let me find. There is a question here about a surveyor. Can you supply the survey report? Tracy's asking that question. The answer is, for the independence and audit purposes, we need to instruct our own valuations. We use a panel, and that's the only way we can reliably be sure that what we're lending on represents the market value for our own purposes. So we can't we can't allow a customer to actually supply a survey. There's a question from GB Law, I guess solicitor, with regards to, do we do joint representation? We only do independent representation, so the client will be expected to have their own solicitor, we have our own solicitors, and that is currently the way we work, and that's actually the way most bridging lenders work. What else have we got here? Abraham, scream out if you see anything else.
Yeah. I have one. Okay, 1 second. Can you take a bridging loan on the equity you've incurred on your mortgaged property?
So the question is that referring to a residential property or buy-to-let? In theory, in some cases, we will do a second charge. On a residential property, we could do it if it's for business purposes, but there needs to be sufficient LTV. And as Aviram said in the presentation, we are fairly cautious of second charges at the moment. So we wouldn't rule it out. Definitely put an application in, but it needs to be a strong application because it has other implications for us as a lender.
Yeah. All right, so let's now all about I will allow you now to talk. Like, you should get a notification. Feel free to unmute and ask your question. Hi, good evening.
Yeah, hello, good evening. Please, just 2, 3 questions. The first one is, when is the best time to apply for an auction bridging loan? Is it before or after the auction because of the price, just to be certain of how much I'm applying for? The second one is for solicitors. Can your solicitor also act for me, or I have to get my own independent solicitor? Thank you.
All right, Claire, we'll let you perhaps answer the first one about when is the time to apply.
So it really does depend on you as an individual. If you want to know what finance you've got behind you prior to the auction, obviously pull in an application and we can let you know exactly what we can offer you. Obviously, if you win the auction and we haven't yet provided you with terms, that's also okay. You can, apply once you win the property. But if you do apply prior to the auction, and let's say the purchase price was to change, we will just make amendments. It's absolutely fine.
Yep. And in terms of dual representation, unfortunately not. So on bridging, if you want to elaborate, we have to rely on our solicitors, and you need your own solicitors. Ayo, if you want to elaborate, feel free.
It's just to do with liability of the solicitors and avoiding conflict of interest. And that way and it's also, if you're doing it through a limited company, you need independent legal representation as well. So it doesn't work to use dual representation. So we do need separate representation.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, Sarah, you should get now a notification. Just unmute and ask a question.
Sorry,
Hey, Sarah.
you caught me with this. I just like to eat. Sorry. Okay. Question.
Yeah.
Quick one. So I have I bought outright apartment, right? So basically I bought another one here on mortgage at the moment, in the process of signing the whatever final. So I was wondering if would I be able to do the bridging using the 100% equity share with the, because the one that right now I use refinance the the first one. Ouch. So does that make sense or not?
It did make sense, and the answer is yes. In principle, we could use.
Okay.
Is the property you want to finance used for residential purposes or buy to let?
So buy to let, yeah, through
Yeah, then there's no
company
problem at
limited,
all.
yeah.
You can release the equity on that. Yeah, not a problem at all.
Oh, okay, cool. Excellent. All right. Thank you.
Sarah, thanks. Udaya, let me allow you now to speak, see if you get a notification. Yeah. All right, so we'll wait for Udaya. Becky, 1 second. Becky, if you are here. Yes.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, Becky.
Hi there. Yeah. I've got a piece of land that is fully paid up and I'd like to develop it. And I was just wondering whether I can get bridging finance to build and how much bridging finance can I get to build?
Lyndon, perhaps you want to take it in terms, because I think that typically usually we'll not do bridging on land, but I think Lyndon can perhaps elaborate more on finance for development and things like that.
Yeah, as Abraham says, Becky, we don't provide funding for property development at this stage, but there are people obviously that do that. So we may be able to help you to find people that are appropriate to do it, but it's not something, unfortunately, that we offer at the moment.
Yeah, but in general, this is something that is available, no? Like if people want to take development finance, I believe there are.
Yeah, lots of options. Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so can I get in touch with you for direction in terms of who to turn to?
Yeah,
and how
sure.
do I do that?
Absolutely, with pleasure. Not a problem.
you can write on the chat of the platform, and basically our team will basically reply and we can see if we can help. Yeah, definitely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Becky.
Yeah.
There was a question about, thank you, about bridge to let. So something important about Lendlord, we also have the digital broker on the platform where you can see rates from, let me switch an account, from buy to let lenders. You know what, I will stick with this account for now. I will just speak for that. So we don't have a product that in one application you will get the bridging finance and also the mortgage product when you exit. But having said that, when we underwrite the bridging finance, we will take a look on the options to refinance if your exit strategy is a remortgage. And we do have a different company, broker company, digital broker company that can help you exit the bridge. And we have customers that took bridging from us, and then the other team basically refinanced in order to repay the bridging finance and get a long-term mortgage. So it's not a bridge to let, but I think with Lendlord you can get the bridging, understand your exit options if it's refinance, and get the mortgage using the digital broker. Let's take a few more questions if that's okay, a few more minutes. We'll take it, from the button. Okay, Paul asked is there a minimum amount that you lend? Yes, Ari answered the minimum is 30K. Can we get bridging loan for purchase price plus refurb the property? So in theory, yes, we can fund the refurbishments. Really depends on the case, depends on the amount of works. But yes, definitely approach us or start an application, speak with Claire about your needs, and we can address, I believe, some of the cases. So yes, it's feasible. Do you have any other lenders that offer bridging in Northern Ireland? Unfortunately not. We don't do Northern Ireland. We also don't do Scotland right now. So, by the way, in mortgages, Arya, we do Scotland and Northern Ireland. We have options for mortgages in Scotland.
Yeah, no problem at all. Scotland's fine. Northern Ireland, we've actually just done one with Lendlord Finance. Yeah, no problem.
All right. Okay. How does loan work to upgrade EPC rates? Can I use it for multiple buy-to-let properties? Depends. Hi, Sian. Hello. I see Sian asked this question. Depends, you know, if so for us, it's all about the security. You know, if you have a property that we can take as a security, as buy-to-let property, then you can raise capital for other purposes, such as basically upgrade the EPC level of other properties. How long has Lendlord been in business? So basically, we started the company in 2019, and we are active in bridging finance since 2021. This question we answer. If I get a deposit from another loan, is it a problem? No, I think no, RAS. So basically, if you have a property,
It depends on the deal. If you remortgage your residential property to release equity to put towards an investment property, we've got no problem with that. If you take out a series of personal unsecured loans, we potentially do have a problem with that, because that would indicate some kind of financial stress, and it would affect your profile, credit score, and various other things. So we're not comfortable with that scenario. But refinancing or taking a loan on a buy-to-let, or alternatively releasing on your residential on a remortgage is no problem.
Yeah, thanks. Another question, I'm a tenant. Can I get 100% bridging finance to buy residential property for me to live in? So unfortunately not, we cannot support both things. Like we will not lend 100% bridging finance, and we can't do residential. So if you are going to live in the property, it's not for us. Like there are regulated bridging lenders, but we do only unregulated, which is only buy-to-let properties. I see comments from Ade Toro. Ade, thank you very much for your comment. Could I use bridging finance to purchase a buy-to-let property? So if this has already, yes, of course, this is the main purpose of the basic for bridging finance is, I think typically will be on buy-to-let, and this is what we do. All right, so I think we can summarize. Like Kemi and Adrian, you wanted to. I see many. Guys, if you do have a few more minutes to answer some questions, yeah, so feel free to switch off if you want, but we have some other questions. Before we will give you to ask your question, I will just remind you again about the benefit of this webinar. By tomorrow, just go to the settings page and you can upgrade to premium plan with 40% off. Just click on add coupon, click and type in bridging webinar, click apply, and you will get the 40% off. Click upgrade now and you will get it. I will put the link here basically on the chat. You can just go /premium and then we get this pop-up and just click add coupon. So also, if you use it on our plan, as you can see, you have also benefit if you apply for mortgage or bridging, you get discounts, £150 on arrangement fee discount, £150 on broker fee. You can also get some benefit on insurance policies if you apply with our provider, Oil & Boswell, and you also get 5 free tenant reference checks. So it's very valuable, only £59 per year. I will put the coupon code on the chat. So this is the link, and then just type bridging webinar. And when you click add coupon. All right, so yeah, Kemi, I will allow you to speak now if you want to ask your question.
Hi, sorry if this has already been answered. I was just wondering if I get if I've got a mortgage, if I'm applying for a mortgage, can I also apply for a bridging loan and use a bridging loan as a deposit, for a flip?
Yeah, Arya?
Okay, if I understand correctly, you want to get a mortgage and raise a bridge using what securities? Sorry, forgive me.
Savings.
Yeah, so if you're using savings as a deposit, that's absolutely fine to use the bridging finance for the balance. As long as you're funding 25% from your own resources, we're fine with that.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thanks, Kemi. Adrian, you should get a notification. Yeah. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, Adrian, we can hear you.
Okay, just a quick questions. In order for me to make a better calculation and an informed decision, is there any way to show the APR, the total APR, or the monthly percentage interest that I pay, including all the fees, everything that you normally do charge on top of the, of course, loan? And
yeah, go ahead. We ahead to the yeah.
And my second question would be, can I have a 100% loan if I have unencumbered properties to have first charge on to supplement the other 25%? So 75 on the property that I acquire, the new one, and the rest of 25% from other unencumbered properties. Thank you.
All right, so for your the first question, definitely. So just go to your bridging application on Lendlord. So you can finance, open application, click bridging application, you can see all the applications. It's a demo account, so I have many. I believe you will have a few. And then basically here, in this tab, review indicative terms, you can see all the costs associated with this bridging. So it's not just the fees, but you have 2% arrangement fee, which you can get some benefits if you are a premium user or if we have some promotion. There is the valuation fee, legal fees. We usually get a quote, administration fee. Exit fee usually will not charge, and also you don't have any broker fee because we are the lender, so you go direct to us as a lender.
Right. So
Right?
this 0.65%, for instance, monthly interest rate does includes all the fees?
No.
Well, this is what I'm saying. Could I
Yeah.
have a monthly interest rate to include like the total costs?
Yes, so you should see the total costs on the terms that we will send you. So the terms basically will be sent to you on DocuSign, like to sign in the digital way. And there basically you will see the total costs of the loan. I don't think that we calculate the monthly interest. It's also
Include
hard
fee.
to, yeah, because we prefer just to put the entire, like all the costs associated, because it, like bridging, you can, repay the loan after 2 months, 4 months, 7 months. So basically, and there are some fixed fees that you anyway needs to pay. So it's very hard to calculate it on a monthly basis. But you will see everything for sure. And for your second question, so again, theoretically, yes, you can get if you provide two securities, one is unencumbered property, you can raise capital with bridging on that, and then raise another up to 75% gross on the second property that you're about to purchase. We usually will want, to get to see that some skin in the game, like to see that you put also something down to purchase the property. But theoretically, if you have an additional property that we can take as a security, then yes, you can raise capital on it that basically will help you to purchase the new property. So it's feasible. So just start an application. You will have the option. Yeah, I can see it now, but basically, securities in the start of the process, you will be able to add more properties to your application to raise more funds. Yes. All right. So thanks, Adrian. Chris, if you want to ask, just gave you the permission. Okay, Karin, let's try.
Hello, Corinne here. Good evening, everyone.
Hi, Karin. Yeah.
I've got a question. I mean, I'm just new to all of this. I just want to make sure my understanding is correct, and maybe the question might have been answered. I've got two properties. One is the residential, and another one is the buy-to-let. Let's say if I want to purchase a new one, can I get can I can I raise a deposit from a residential and get a bridging for the rest? Or how does it work? I don't.
So yeah, I think I already answered that, but let me.
Your best way of raising on a residential is actually to do a remortgage or get a further advance from your existing lender. Your terms will be better, and then you can use those funds towards the deposit and then take a buy-to-let mortgage. But if it's not habitable and you want to do refurbishment work, or you buy at an auction, you don't have enough time, then absolutely we'll be quite happy to fund it as long as you've got a 25% deposit.
Okay. So the 20,
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, but the 25% deposit, can I raise that from the property, the equity
Yes.
of the property? Okay.
You can raise it, and that's what I was saying. You can do it either by way of a further advance or a remortgage, and our in-house mortgage advisor would be happy to help you with that. The reason I'm not saying we would raise that deposit through bridging is because we're not really doing second charges in many cases at the moment, and you would probably get a better outcome through a residential further advance on your residential property.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Karin. I think we have Kinga now. Can you?
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Oh, hi, Kinga.
I've got a question. Talking about further advanced remortgaging. So, in the nutshell, I've got frozen mortgage for another 5 years. Now, I've tried to apply for a further advance, but because I have a CCJ for a parking ticket, which is exceeding the amount which a bank would accept, I don't think I can do in that way. Now, what I was advised by a broker is to get a second charge. Now, myself and my husband, we've opened a LTD company and we would like to actually purchase a buy-to-let. Now, how would you consider a second charge and bridging application for that, please?
Yeah, Arya?
If you're purchasing a property, then it's not a problem. If you want to release money on your residential property, it just depends how much equity you've got as to whether we would do it. The CCJ on its own would not necessarily bother us too much. The only thing it would affect is your exit strategy. We would want to be sure that wherever you are going to move the mortgage to eventually would actually fund you with the CCJ, But I have to say there are a few lenders out there who really won't care too much about a parking ticket CCJ. I know they can rack up the charges, and the CCJ and the charge that may have been £100 or £200 may end up at £500, £600 or £700. But there are lenders out there who don't have too much of a problem with it, although mainstream lenders are making a big fuss about it. So I do understand why you may have a problem with it.
Okay, brilliant. Can I ask one more additional question, please? So I have had spoken with my broker, and now she has advised me, for example, if we take a property for £200,000, get 50k deposit, get the bridging loan for 150k, or cause it's 75% loan to value. Now, what she also has suggested, we could possibly take some part of a bridging loan in addition for the renovation purposes. And then once the house is refinanced, we could possibly pay off everything. How actually and practically does this work, please?
Abraham, you want me to answer?
Yeah, go ahead.
It doesn't necessarily work. It just depends on what the potential value of the property is going to be, and what the cost is going to be of doing refurbishment. So it can be practical, but it may not be practical. It just depends on the circumstances. My suggestion is, if you've got something in mind, get in touch with us through the app, or make contact with Claire, and she will help you, and we'll see if we can assist.
Fantastic. That's brilliant. Thank you very much for that. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much, Kinga. And we have, I think, last question from Yanis. I just gave you the permission to speak. Yeah, hi.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
So my first question is, because you mentioned Scotland earlier, is so in Scotland you do not offer bridging loans, but you offer normal mortgages, buy to let.
Right. Yes. So basically, if your property is in Scotland, you can definitely use the Lendlord platform to manage your properties, tenants, tenancies, cash flow. You can also use the deal analyzer. The only thing that is not available right now is bridging, but the mortgage broker, the digital mortgage broker, is open for Scotland. Arya, correct me if I'm wrong, but we do have options.
Absolutely. Scotland is no problem at all through our broking side. No problem at all. We've got multiple lenders who all lend in Scotland.
Are you planning to make bridging loans available in Scotland in the future?
Good question. We may do. We may do.
Yeah.
As we expand, it may very well be something that we'll do, because we do get asked for it from time to time. I guess our only issue at the moment is the legal side, because the legals are different. And if we can actually develop the legal side through solicitors in Scotland, it would be no problem. We're just not there yet.
Okay. And my second question is, for a bridge to let, for the to let part to refinance it, do I need income? Do I have income restrictions on that part?
As a mortgage broker, the answer is not necessarily. Some lenders require no minimum income. Some require a basic income of £25,000, and some want to see that you have experience. It depends what you're doing. It depends on the property. And again, it's all about the feel-good factor, but there are definitely lenders who do not care about the level of income, but they want to see that you have some income.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, Yanis. Yeah, I see we have more questions, so I think we should call it for today, because it's becoming too late. Feel free to reach out. I will share again the screen. First, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. As you can see, you have many videos, a lot of topics about the platform, about finance. So just go to, I will put it also on the chat, to our YouTube channel, subscribe to get relevant content. Also, you can apply using this link to bridging. And again, you have by tomorrow to get the benefit of our premium plan with 40% off, £59 for the entire year. instead of £99. Just enter bridging webinar, click apply, and then click upgrade. So thank you very much for joining. I know there are questions, so feel free to reach out using this chat when from your Lendlord account, and then you can basically ask any question and our team will get back to you. Claire, if you want to put your Calendly link perhaps on the chat, if you have it available, so people can schedule calls. If you have, it's better like if you actually have the property that you are going to buy or you have had an accepted offer, then basically schedule a call to discuss the case. The best thing is just to start the process online from your Lendlord account and apply in a digital way, and we will be in touch for sure. All right, so thanks everyone. Thanks Arya, Lyndon, Claire for joining, and we will see you in the next webinar. Thank you very much.